Let's get some nice callers today.
I'll start a watch party. I don't know if you guys seen a watch party now, something new.
Yeah, I watched some of those.
Well, I mean, it's a lot.
All right, now what do I do?
The other
Yeah.
part. We gotta notify each individual person. It's horrible.
That's true.
Am I on?
Yeah. Give it a second.
Okay, I see. Yes, I'm going to share now. Public. I'm going to Terry.
Do I have to be like on my page?
Hold on, honey.
There you are. There you go.
And you should see me now going on your page.
Share now.
There you go.
For the watch party.
And there you are.
Okay.
And you see, this is what it looks like.
Okay.
We're missing a name.
Hmm?
Ready? Randy Johnston.
Johnston, okay. I can add him here.
Calling in from PA.
Okay.
Oh, let me share this with him too.
Now I should be on there. Okay.
Are we on the air?
You can start in about 30 seconds.
Okay.
Okay, you're live on the radio and ready to go. Go ahead.
Hi, everybody. This is the Jersey Shore Angel Show. Welcome to another great show. I have some very interesting guests today. I have a caller calling in at 105, Randy Johnston, a Wiccan believer. I have on my right Terry Oz, a certified medium. Terry, say hi to the world, Facebook
Hi.
world, everywhere. I have on my left Stephen Salone. Is that right?
Sloan, right?
Sloan.
Correct.
And he is a psychic entertainer. So let's call her. I want Randy to call in now. You see the number, Randy? Please call in. We are waiting your call. Yeah. Thanks, Doc. Okay, everybody turn your volumes down.
I'm sorry.
609. Put a dash before. 807. And note that error, guys. Just keep
Yes. Okay.
492.
All right. So what's the number to call in?
I'll put it up there and then hit live.
Okay, we're waiting for Randy Johnston from Pennsylvania to call the number. Randy, call the number on your page. I shared it with you. What is it? 609
807 2492.
2942.
2492.
While waiting for Randy to call, I'd like to thank Maureen for inviting us over. This was a pleasant surprise. I haven't seen her in a while. And she called me yesterday and she asked me to come on the show. I really appreciate it.
And I'm Terry Oz, a certified psychic and medium. Anybody has any questions about past people that have passed, call in. We'll see what we could do for you. Try to explain a little bit about mediumship and how we call people from beyond the veil. They're right in front of us every day. We do get messages, but people really don't listen. They think that they're supposed to jump up and down in front of us. They come in silent ways. A lot of people say birds and pennies. That's a traditional way, but you should look in your home because they do leave little messages. It's just that we're, with our busy lives, don't look for it. And when you stop looking for a message, it'll be there right in front of you, and you'll be astounded. And the biggest thing with what I do is a belief system. You have to believe beyond belief.
Okay, we have my guest calling in, Randy Johnston.
How you doing today, Maureen?
Hi, Randy. Welcome to the Jersey Shore Angel Show. Randy Johnston, tell us about yourself.
I'm a run-of-the-mill guy. I live here in Midwestern Pennsylvania. I believe in the Wiccan ways of nature.
Blessed be.
Right now, I'm unemployed due to an injury. Married, have kids, grandkids.
God bless you.
I don't know what more to say.
Well, tell us, like, what is your experience in your Wiccan beliefs? Like, what do you
Well,
specialize in, and how
dabbled-
long? And
I've dabbled in witchcraft since 2007. I never came out of the broom closet, so to speak, until this past March. As far as my experiences and beliefs in Wicca, just try to, how do you say, believe in the Wiccan way, which is sharing nature with nature, being attuned to nature, much like Native Americans. That's what true Wicca belief is, if you want to call it belief. Actually, you could say it's a disbelief, because we don't really believe in any one thing or things other than what we challenge, like science, to find out if it's real.
that's true, Randy. I also noticed when you share your what do you think about the blood wolf moon? Is that what it's called? Coming up.
Oh, the super moon, blood moon, wolf moon. That's going to be, to me, that's going to be very energetic. It recharges, any full moon recharges anybody following witchcraft or Wiccan ways. As far as it being the supermoon, that just means the moon's at its apogee, or it's closest to the Earth. That's why it looks so large. Being the blood moon, that is a term which came around in not that long ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, by Pentecostal Christians who looked at it as in the Book of Revelations as the beginning of the end for the world.
Right.
As
I
far
see
as
that.
the
Yeah.
wolf moon, that's just based on Native American,
Right.
monikers for the moon.
Right.
So basically, it's just a really, really close full moon to me.
Right.
I don't look at it as, I have no connotation with those other terms.
Exactly. Randy, do you have any questions, or Terry Oz? And I have Stephen. Any questions? Because you guys are so. So I'm going to hand it over to Terry Oz, who would like to talk to you guys, Terry.
Sure.
This is Randy.
Hi, Randy. I'm also
How you doing?
I'm also a native of Pennsylvania, northeastern Pennsylvania, and I know what you say, living off the land. I lived off the land, clean eating, clean farming, clean eggs. It's hard to change those ways of not eating clean, and a lot of people don't understand that. That's being one with nature and not having no GMOs, and even today to plant, it's hard to find seeds that aren't GMO processed. I'm a big believer in all the poisoning of the land. My grandmother was an American Indian, an Anacocan Indian, and my father had the ways. They made their own cough medicines out of blackstrap molasses.
Wow.
They went into the woods and gathered berries. Me, as a young child, being stupid, never wanted to learn. I only wish that I learned that, because every year we got that bottle of medicine, that cough medicine, and if you got a cough or sinuses, one drop on your tongue of that blackstrap molasses, it was gone. It was the way of nature. They never depended on any of that. And all that tradition has lost, and I'm guilty of it because I never was interested.
Wow.
You think of all the things throughout history, and even our history as humans, the generational history that we've lost, the information from the preceding generations. It's truly a shame. It really is. Being one with nature, that doesn't, some people will look at it and say, oh, geez, living off the land or doing this, doing that. I try to do that the best I can. Obviously, you can't do that with everything.
No, you can't.
No.
Unfortunately. If society was different, we could, but we can't. It isn't like we can just, some of us can't just have milk cows, for instance, live in an apartment and everything. That wouldn't work. But you try to do your best to live with nature, let nature be part of you, know that in the Wiccan ways, like some people will ask, what gods do you worship, or what goddesses, and there you really don't have to worship any. I have a few deities that I give gratitude to, but the big part of Wiccan belief is that God is all around us.
Amen.
It's in every living thing on this planet that Mother has graced us with, and a lot of people just
Definitely.
can't grasp that idea.
No, they'll never grasp it because it's the old ways, and everybody pushes technology to the new ways. They want fast foods. They want everything easy. Nobody wants to take time to live their lives. They want everything yesterday, not today. And when you
Yeah,
slow
they want
down your
an
life,
instant-
you do have
instant
everything
society,
you
and we're
want.
partly to blame for that. Humans,
definitely.
we've used technology to that point. As much as it helps us, it hurts us.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, Randy, have you ever, how should I say this? Have you ever toiled the soil? You had any potions, any kind of remedies you got to share?
I've always made potions and stuff. Remedies, anything like that. General remedies. One that comes to my mind right away is use peppermint. Use peppermint for sun poisoning, sunburns. Make a tea out of it. It helps the upset stomach with the sun poisoning. Jewelweed. That's
Jewelweed is
what
it
it's
is.
really called, is jewelweed, and some people call it touch-me-not. But actually, it's not because any poison it's in it. Actually, it helps. It's like it grows along creeks, has the yellow and orange flowers. If you run into any itchweed, poison ivy, anything like that, crush some of the stems of the jewelweed and rub it on. It instantly stops the itching.
Wow.
See some other ones that I've used around here. Just willow branches and willow leaves. You have to be careful with this, but you boil those down into a tea, and it works like aspirin. Actually, it is aspirin. Years ago, that's where people and Native Americans got their
Yeah.
aspirin, so to speak.
Yeah.
The Latin name of willow is salix. If you look at an aspirin bottle, its scientific name or Latin name or whatever is salicylic acid, and that's just a few of the things that I use around here.
Yeah.
Potions, they make many of them. Some of them are long and drawn out.
That's
Protection potion or protection oil. That you can
protection.
make
Yep. Like
quite
an
easily.
energy protection field. Like.
Yeah, anything to prevent psychic energy theft or attack.
Sure.
You would take a little bit of myrrh and a little bit of frankincense and mostly white sage.
Yes.
A little bit of cedar leaves. Crush that up. Put it in any kind of oil. I prefer olive oil.
Right.
You crush that up in your little mortar and pestle. Let that sit for a day or two. And then put a couple drops here and there. Black ash or black salt,
Black salt.
as we use to protect larger areas. I make that out of, if I can, you get the sea salt, crush that down in your mortar and pestle, mix that with wood ash, or what I like to do is when I do spells with my charcoal burning for the incense, you always have ashes from that. If they were positive spells, and most of mine are, I don't believe that there's good or bad in witchcraft. There's what a person heart holds,
Right.
or their heart holds. Anyways, I usually do positive and good spells.
That's awesome. Wow.
So you take that and you mix it in with that sea salt, and that becomes your black salt. It's very powerful doing that.
Right.
So those are just a few that I use. The rest I have written down. I have to go get them, to be honest.
Right. Randy, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
A friend of mine, no name mentioned, a friend of mine, she has fear of everything. I mean, fear. How can one lift that off her?
The first thing that I would say is you have to feel good about who you are. So to me, before you can conquer the things that are affecting you, you have to be good about and where you are. You know, a warrior can't go defeat an enemy without the proper weapons. So the first proper weapon is to, you know, you have to build your self-confidence. You would do that simply by, you know, pretending or visualizing would be a better word. Visualizing who you are, who you want to be. And then you would just, from there, once you're to that point where you're comfortable with who you want to be, then you would sit and you would visualize what's bothering you. In her case, you say a lot of things or everything is bothering her.
Right.
She's going to have to break it down one at a time. What is she afraid of? Then once you do that, you picture yourself actually defeating that thing that you visualized.
Exactly.
As far as herbs and stuff that you could use in that, you know, that travail, you could use many things such as oh geez, let me think real quick. You could use some lavender and even lilac water helps.
Okay.
Amethyst crystals.
Crystals,
I
yep.
don't mess with crystals a lot, but I know a lot of people who do. I would also say, what the heck is the name? Moldavite crystal.
That's powerful.
That has a very, very strong energy.
That's like almost like a tiger's eye.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, the Moldavite is very, very strong energy. Like I said, I don't mess a lot with crystals. I mostly stick with chants and herbs and spices.
Wow.
So you could, you know, the main thing there is she needs to stop and feel good about who she is. I know that's a cliche word or phrase.
Very.
But literally stop and stop and think about, you know, who she is and why she should be comfortable. You know, what positive things does she have going on in her life? Once she transcends those into that's what she becomes. And that's the biggest thing of witchcraft, if it be known, is, you know, what you will and what you believe and what you see, you know, portend that to what it is and what it becomes. That's the key essence of witchcraft. So if she just feels good about who she is and pictures then, you know, then she has the weapons, then pictures what is scaring her. You know, put that thing, that emotion or whatever into a like a picture, like an evil prince or, you know, the Prince of Darkness or whatever you want to call it, and then just visually defeating that with whatever weapon she would like in her thoughts or her fantasy. Yeah.
Well, thank you,
That's
Randy.
the way I would do it.
Thank you for your blessings there. Thank you so much. Do you have any questions for our guest panel?
Offhand,
Hey, Randy.
yeah, I have one because that's all we're hearing about weather.
Go
And I
right
do a
ahead.
little bit of weather magic. Tell me, how bad do you think this snow is going to be that we're about to get here in western Pennsylvania? I've heard so many things.
Are you asking me or are you asking Stefan or Terry Oz?
We can ask Terry, yeah.
Yeah,
I
Terry.
didn't know which guest you meant. Yeah,
Well,
how bad does she think it's going to be?
Knowing
the snow?
Pennsylvania, it could be a
40?
half an inch to 10 inches or to 20 inches. I know in
Yeah.
upstate New York they already got snow. So on the northern tier where I lived, we got it. Where you're at, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be as bad as they're saying. I really think it's going to go in the opposite direction because the winds are
Yeah.
blowing. I looked at it this morning. The winds are blowing in a circular motion, and that's a very unusual. To me, it almost looks like a tornado-type snowstorm.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's blowing
Yeah.
in so many different directions that it's going to spin off. So we'll get a
Yeah.
spin off. Everybody will get a little bit of this or that because of,
Yep.
of the way that it's swirling around like that. So I
Yeah,
don't think
I'm
it's going to
thinking-
be as
I'm
bad as
thinking
they're
here-
saying.
I'm thinking here the number 16 keeps coming up. So,
I don't even know
I
if it'll
hope
be
we do.
that.
I'm not feeling
yeah, I
that.
hope we do because I love the snow.
Oh, God, I left
jeez.
Pennsylvania for that
Hey,
reason.
Randy, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
I don't prescribe to the Wiccan concept, but I was a scout leader for 21 years, and we did a yearly survival weekend where we had to do everything off the ground, nothing nothing brought in. And people don't realize that when you do get down to basics, we'll call that. I mean, it might be a little difficult initially, but it restores some interest. It restores something in you where you feel like it's very primordial. You get up in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
And you walk through the fog, and you have to collect the wood. And you have to start a fire with sticks, and it can be done. We've done it. To create that, and it's an energy that you don't get living in the city. And prior to your call, I was talking to Maureen. Like I said, even though I don't prescribe to the Wiccan concept, one of the things I get out of you is we're talking about nature. Nature is all about balance. And I find that,
right.
And when you think about this, whether it's you call it Wiccan, when you call it going back to your basics, it's about restoring balance in your life. And before you signed on, I was talking to Maureen, and I brought up the fact that when you look at the 5 top killers in the United States, and they're all self-induced. We actually, whether it's cancer from smoking or hypertension from overeating or overdrinking, diabetes from overeating, hypertension from working too hard, we're basically doing it to ourselves. And when you think about this, if they just went back to basics and eliminated what is not natural, I mean, eliminated what isn't natural, is I meant to say, is that they can probably restore their health without any drugs, without any intervention, just by the natural process of healing that I think that the body has been endowed with. And if you get anything out of this Wiccan concept, is going back to the beginnings and letting nature take its course and allow your body to heal itself. I don't prescribe to a lot of medications, a lot of drugs. I don't believe in them. I think that an individual can heal most of what ails them mentally, physically, by getting back to basics and going to a natural more life. Don't drink as much. Don't eat as much. Eat healthy food. Stop eating McDonald's and Burger King. Try to create a little bit more Whole Foods. And so the concept is correct. Is going back and eliminating what has been ailing us, even though we're probably trained to want more of it, is probably the biggest bane in society, is that we're creating most of our own problems.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Randy,
Yeah,
any
I
more?
totally agree there. That you, I'm sorry, Maureen. Did you?
Yes. No. I just want to know. Do you have any more questions? Because we have to get on with the next guest.
No.
Any
I was
more
just gonna say real
questions?
quick
And
that-
huh?
I was just going to say real quick that he's right. The sense of balance, whether it's Mother's Earth, whether it's the plants and the beings around us, whether it's ourselves, that's the biggest thing that you're trying to do in any religion, really, that goes to the earth. Native American, Wiccan, Hindu, whatever. Christianity, unfortunately, is one of the ones that we try to supersede everything with our powers, and that's all I wanted to say. But yeah, that's basically all I wanted to say.
Well, I want to thank you, Randy, for coming on the show, being our guest caller in. So I want to say blessed be and have a wonderful, happy, healthy, safe new year. And let's give Randy a hand, everybody.
And the same to you folks. Blessed be, and
Thank you
it's,
so much. And I'm going to share this
and,
to your page. I think you have it on your page already, the show.
Yeah, well, it's just remember, Wiccan witchcraft isn't the evil that everybody thinks.
Exactly.
That's all brought about by the medieval days.
Exactly.
All right.
Thank you,
I'm gonna continue listening
Randy.
to the show.
Nice chatting with you, Randy.
Thank you so
Same
much.
here. I'm gonna continue listening to the show, and thank you for having me on.
You're welcome. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Okay, I'm gonna turn the mic over to Terry Oz. Terry Oz, tell them all about you now.
Well, I started to see spirit at a very young age 8 years old. Of course, I was raised in Pennsylvania, went to all Catholic school. It was sort of shunned. It took me years to find out what I really was. I like Randy's idea, you know, coming out of the broom closet, finally.
Yeah, right.
And finding out what my real potential was. I was always a channeler. I never knew it. I went to every side. I went to witchcraft. I went to the dark side, the white side,
Ditto.
the gray
Me too,
side,
yeah.
to find out what I really was.
5 years
And read cards. I read the tarot. I read the Lenormand. I read angel cards. That is not my specialty. My specialty is channeling. I meditate. I get a message in, and I give it to the person that's sitting in front of me before they come for a reading, whether it be phone or whether it be in person. I already have my information before they arrive. The spirits start coming in and giving me the information. Being an evidential medium, anybody that goes to someone for any reading should, in the first 5 minutes, know and connect with the evidence. If they don't give you evidence that they're connecting, don't waste your time, because an evidential medium and psychic will bring in only something that you know about that spirit that's there.
It's very true.
I'm very big into astrology and numerology because today it's a broad spectrum, and we all talk about the moon coming. This moon this weekend is a very important moon. You should check your birth sign and your moon sign and see how it affects you. This is a week of clearing out a lot of negative things in your life. So it's a very element of surprise week this week. So what has been bothering you around your job, around people, it's going to switch around. And a lot of people are going to be surprised by next week how much it affects your life. People don't think that it does, but I live near the ocean, and if the moon could affect the ocean in a broad spectrum, which is amazing to watch, it could affect our moods. I'm a water sign, a Scorpio, and it affects me more than most people. I try to stay quiet that week, away from people, because my emotions are just like the ocean, out of control. So I stay in the house, I meditate, and that's about where it goes. And numerology, if you see repeating numbers, like Maureen is the angel person, go to your angel numbers. If you see 222s, 444s, like 555 is a big number for me. When I start seeing 555, I think I better start packing. Something's going to change in my life dramatically.
Yes.
And I used to take it as a negative. I get scared. Now I don't look at it that way, because my guides are showing me to be prepared that there's going to be a change in my life and accept it.
Yes.
So there's a lot of different things. Just like I said before, people don't realize. Like, I get a lot of people say, "Oh, my daughter passed. I don't get a message. I wait every day."
I
The
get that too,
messages
lots of my
are there.
clients.
You're just not listening.
Not listening.
I took many courses from many different people, and they'd yell at me, "You don't listen. You don't listen." And I'd say, "I'm listening. I'm listening." I just found out lately I don't listen, because my guides will come out of. I had 3 car accidents in 1 year. And my teacher said to me, your guides are coming down out of the sky and hitting you over the head. Wake up and listen. And I got mad at her, but she was right. And I listen now. I write and I journal. And I think everybody should, whether you're spiritual or not, because you'll go back a year later and you'll look and see what you journaled, and you'll see all the messages that people bring from beyond the veil. Beyond the veil is very thin. They could see us and they can't understand why we're struggling and why we just don't understand. So if you just sit quiet, even like I always used to, I taught meditation back in Pennsylvania, and I always used to say to my students, if you can't meditate for 15 minutes, meditate for a half hour, because everybody could find 10 minutes out of their day just to close their eyes and deep
And
breathe and
relax, just deep
clear
breathe.
your mind.
That's
Oh,
it.
I can't. I get too much garbage. Yes, your mind is clearing out. Let it clear out. And you'll get the message. But in this hustle bustle, everybody's rush that they can't.
So true.
But I recommend listening to, there's many, many different meditations on YouTube. I have 1 or 2 that I would prefer to listen. I listen to Jason Stevenson. He has 10-minute meditations. Chopra's have 10 to 15 meditations. All my meditations that I listen to are gratitude. Other times I listen to sleep. I'm a big manifestation, but everything is gratitude. You have to have the gratitude before you could move on in life.
That's
If you don't have gratitude, you'll never get anywhere in life.
That's true.
And you could have gratitude for anything, just to get up and get out of bed and open your eyes and to be healthy. And I agree with the gentleman over here that we have to learn a balanced life. If we don't learn a balanced life, our systems will, make us sick. I worked with a lot of cancer patients back in Pennsylvania. I cut hair. I was a hairdresser by trade, and I used to cut hair for Braveheart. And what cancer patient does not want to say, oh, I manifested this? But we did a research on a lot of people that have cancer, how they held certain hurts. And if they held it in their hearts, it's terrible to even to think that we could manifest sickness in our life, but we do. And I do believe that you could heal yourself. I'm a firm believer that just by changing your thought, which people say, how do you just change your thought? It's easy, just change your thought. When the negative come in, I have a big hand in my mind that when I get negative, it like pushes it out.
Yeah.
And yeah, you have that big hand, go push that
like
right
that.
out of there, swipe it out of there. So I'm a firm believer of health. I'm probably look younger for my age than I am, but I don't take a pill in my life. I don't have high blood pressure. I go to the doctors. I have big fights all the time because they always want to find something wrong with me. To send me for all these tests, and I had one. My doctor just recently said to me, 45 years I'm in business. I had only one other person like you, and she's still alive, and she's 102, I think. I said I'm going to
Amen.
surpass that. And I'm going to be mentally and physically, although people think I'm crazy now. But I always say crazy is as crazy does.
That's crazy is.
What are you going to do? You're crazy. You can't change that. So that's my philosophy
have
on life.
Tess, Tess. Where am I getting Tess from? Terry, I have a question.
Sure.
I learned to with the RA, and this is just something I just learned from my spiritual guys as an angel, okay? I learned to channel my pain. To somewhere else. By meditation, I learned to.
Oh, definitely.
I took the pain that I was having from the headaches last night down to my very toe. That's where it went. By meditation.
It's funny because I'm very sinusy today, and I never get sinusy. And I was in New York with my grandson. He wanted to go see a place. So I took him in as a Christmas present.
Nice.
And we were sitting at a table. And talk about intention. There was somebody left tissues on that table. And I went to reach for them tissues, and I thought, oh, you never know what's in those tissues. Mm-hmm. And I picked them up, and I threw them away. And I set the intention, and I came back, and I was real sinusy. And I don't have a cold. It sounds like I do. But I stopped it before it got to that point. But I set that intention when I picked up those tissues. I should have never thought about it. I should have never went there. I figured it out this morning. I thought, where did this come from? And I remember looking at those tissues, and they were, like a snotty tissue. Should have left them there. By me picking up those tissues, I already had set that intention. And I'm a big person with intention.
Yep.
Everything is intention. People say, oh, the Ouija board, it brings in evil spirits. If you set that intention, you're going to bring it in. If you go and set a positive intention, you only bring in what your intentions are. Same with witchcraft, black, white, gray. Oh, you put a spell on me. If you believe you have a spell on you, I put it on you. Your spell is gone. You don't have no spell. You do that to a person. We have a big joke about a voodoo doll. People would
yes.
actually think that you could do that. I said, if I could do that, I'd be like a billionaire. I'd have people waiting in line.
Yeah.
You set the spell on yourself. If you believe you have a spell, you have a spell.
That's it.
It's all intention. It's
Wow.
all intention.
Thank you, Terry. Callers call in for Terry Oz, and I'm going to turn over to my left here and give Steven Sloan.
Hello. First, I'd like to thank Maureen for including me in this. It was a pleasant surprise. She called me yesterday afternoon. She says, how would you like to be on a radio show? I had met her about a year ago in a place called Open Minded, which is
My tour date, yep.
Yeah, a new age shop. I think they call it Revolution now.
Yes.
They're very nice people. You should actually go visit them.
Yeah.
But I'm a little bit more pragmatic in kind of the
Tell the viewers. Go ahead.
I'm a little bit more pragmatic. Being brought up in a pretty conservative household, religious conservative household, I don't think I was touched by anything special. I think in reality, everybody is special. I think everybody
Yes.
has been endowed with something amazing. The issue is that most people can't find it. And like I said, I'm maybe a little bit more in tune with feelings, but I don't think I have any unique powers that anybody else doesn't have. The thing is that they don't know how to find them. And the kind of readings I do, palm readings and I do tree readings, and the readings I do, I choose because they're more pragmatic and kind of based in like science. There is a science behind the palm reading. So when somebody says, well, how do you know that? I could point to a particular point on a hand and say, well, this means this and this is why. And people don't realize that there is actually a physical...
Care to do it on the air?
Oh, no, I don't want to do it. I just want to explain some of the concepts. That your hand actually dictates a lot of what you are capable of doing. The location of your thumb will dictate whether you work well with your hands or you don't. So that means you could either be a bricklayer or a techie. And that has to do with the location of your thumb. And of course, everyone says, oh, the location's the same spot. Yes, just how much flesh there is between the thumb and your wrist. So they're called low set thumbs and high set thumbs. People with low set thumbs like to work with their hands. They use tools well. People with high set thumbs don't use tools well, so they end up in communication and stuff like that. So that already dictates your future. So there's a science behind it. The same thing with the tree readings. The tree readings started out in the 1940s as called the...
Really? I never heard of that.
yeah.
What is that? How do you do tree
well,
readings?
you draw a tree, and the concept is psychiatrist John Buck and Charles Koch independently.
Oh, yes. Okay.
The HTP protocol. The HTP is house tree person, or the Baum test is just a tree. And the idea is that whatever you put on a piece of paper embodies everything about you. In regards to a tree, the base and the roots are your background, your heritage, your religion. The base of the tree is your formative years. The trunk of the tree is your life. And the canopy, which is the very top, is what your hopes, dreams, and feelings are. And
Interesting.
So what you put down, and including what you don't put down, is reflective on you as a person. So that is actually a proven test. And interestingly enough, I did a party a couple of months back, and there was a fellow there that was a state trooper, and then he now works for the Homeland Security. And interestingly enough, after I got done his reading, and he was kind of like intrigued with what I said, he says, what's your qualifications for this? I said, what do you mean? He says, because you're dead on. That's exactly the way I am. And it's funny that you should say these things because I took the same test, a different variation for the state troopers. They made me draw things, and then they analyzed it. So these tests are
Wow.
still being used today. So when I say I take a pragmatic approach to my readings, I kind of use stuff that I can point to and say, this is valid because. Like I said, I don't think I have any special skills, but when I do the readings, I do see what those people who have issues, problems, or questions, what they're capable of, and what their strong points are. And like I said before, when I started this, everybody is blessed with some great talent. Most of us don't discover it. I look at their hand, or I look at the tree, and said, you know, you are very good at such and such. Why don't you use that skill to solve your problem? I can't look into the future. I can't tell you what's going to happen 5 years
Nor
from now.
could I.
But I can tell you that each and every one of us has the ability to solve our own problems and
Yes.
improve our own issues. And it's how we do it. And you can't go to somebody else and ask them how to resolve your issue because they're not you. You have that particular strength or you have that particular ability. And if you dig deep down inside and you trust yourself and you say you happen to be a great communicator or you have to be a sympathetic person, all those reflect in your tree drawing or your palm, you can dig deep down into and develop those skills and get yourself out of whatever dilemmas you have, whether it's financial, emotional. We all have the ability to do it. Health-wise, we also have the ability to control it. And it's just a matter of self-belief. And whatever skills that we're endowed with and blessed with, utilize those. And my only ability is looking at these drawings or looking at your palm and saying, well, this is what this means. And it's a skill that's learned. Many people can learn it. It's reading about it, studying it, and understanding why these things exist. So that's the kind of try the things I do. I don't,
That's
again,
wonderful.
think it's
So
some kind of divine
Right.
a divine gift. I think it's something that I've learned to do, other people can learn to do, but more importantly, you can learn how to use your own skill sets and improve your life.
So would you say if it's fair to say that you do the tree and palm reading not on a fortune teller like on a boardwalk, but like on a scientific level
Yes.
and a psychologist level?
Yes, I do. What
So I'm getting it now.
yeah, a character analysis. I'm not
Okay,
going
I'll-
to tell you that you're going to meet someone and elope and
Exactly.
I'm telling you that these seem to be your best skills, and
Wow.
your little
Yeah, no, you read me. You were good. You did good.
and these what you should use to resolve whatever issues that you feel that you have in your life. And like I said, there isn't a person that has not been born that has not been endowed with something special. Unfortunately, 99% of people, they don't discover it. They feel that they're not special, and they really are. You are. Whoever is
Yeah.
out there, whoever's listening, whoever's not listening,
You're all special.
has been given a special gift that you should discover within yourself. And with that gift, you'll be able to help not just yourself, but others as well. And that's part of what I think why we were put on this planet.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow, let's give him a hand, huh? Wow. And you know the Jersey Shore Angel, I tell people, don't call me a medium, don't call me a psychic, just call me a gifted angel. I've been this way since I was 5. I wrestled with it for 40 years. I wrote a book, it's out there, Fallen Angel, and I got to tell you, every time I pulled away and I try to pull away, and all of a sudden I got something else on me, something else medically wrong. So I figured out that I'm a messenger from the spirit world, which is the universe of love and God, you know, the light. So that's where I am, the point I'm at in my journey. So I just continue my things. I continue my second book's coming out, Dreams and Closures. I'm here on Hamilton Radio now. Thank you, Doc G. I love you. Everybody else at Hamilton Radio, you know. So let's take some callers, and my guests would be happy to answer any questions that you have for any of us. So we are open to take calls right now because our show will be ending in, I guess, what, Doc G?
They have questions too, they might want to ask.
Okay, so we're going to take some questions from Hamilton. So Sandra, you're first. Question 4.
Here, you want to talk a little bit?
Give the mic over there. We have guests in the radio station too. Question. All right. So who do you want? You want Terry or Terry or Stefan?
I'll start with Terry. I'll start with Terry.
Good.
Yeah, I just often wonder if certain fears that I've accumulated through time has something to do with a past life. Okay. All right. Should I say it again?
Yes. Go ahead. Go ahead,
Talk
Sandy.
into
Relax.
the mic.
I want to know if certain fears that I have accumulated in my life have anything to do with a past life.
Well, I was not too much into past lives, but lately I am because I have a very good friend that is an astrologer, and she told me about karma and things in our past lives. And I do think that we carry into each life things that we didn't learn in our past lives, and we're planted in certain situations to learn. So again, through meditation, you could do that. You could clear that block. I know you wrote a book. A lot of times people that have writer's block because, they can't think. But I'm a firm believer that you could call somebody from the other side. Everybody, just like he says, has abilities. I believe anybody could paint, anybody could do anything. You just have to channel it. You have to call somebody in to clear out that past of what you're blocking. And the biggest thing I learned about fear is efface your fears. I moved here from Pennsylvania, had beauty salons in Pennsylvania for many, many years. I just closed everything, and I thought, I want to live by the ocean. I'm not going to live forever. I faced my fears, came down here, never really knew too many people, but through other people, through the revolution, I met Maureen, I met other people that had come to me for readings there, and I put myself out. I have a firm belief in manifestation, so what I do is I put myself in the middle of New Jersey, and I put like tentacles out through, like an octopus all over to bring people to me. And the more I do that, the more people, the more I put out. So you could do that, whatever your fears are. Put yourself out there and just face those fears. And that's about the only thing I could say about fears. I don't have too many fears anymore. I had a lot of fears. I don't know how to swim. That's one of my fears. Everybody keeps telling me they're going to teach me. I went to a coach at the YMCA in Pennsylvania. After the third time, he said, "You're never going to swim. Leave." So,
That's funny.
I wouldn't jump off the diving board. He says, "I'm not doing it anymore." I went with another lady. Her and I were hysterical. We would go because her son forced her, and I wanted to learn how to swim. And after the third time, he said, "Go home, the two of you." So maybe I'm an ocean person. I love the water. I'm a Scorpio. Maybe in my past life I drowned.
Virgo.
So maybe that's my fear. I could jump in the water. My biggest fear is coming back up. So it had to have something to do with the past life. So it's a fear.
I just want to mention, I have a friend, she just had a baby in July, and when it's bath time, she screams her head off. They have tried different things, and, I started thinking, maybe
It's a
because
past
being
life.
so young, the past life, something is still, yeah.
Years ago,
When it's my bath time, I scream my head off too.
years ago, when I first started to go into this, Est was around, and transcendental meditation, and I learned from that. And I had a teacher from out west, Lee Landfried, and I often wonder whatever happened to him. But we did past life regression, and we had to find out, and we had a search for it. And I always wondered why I never could wear necklaces. And in one of my past lives, I was hung. So it's a big thing. I'll never wear turtlenecks. I'll never wear necklaces. So at one time, and we had many past lives. And I always say, I don't want to know nothing about my past life. I want to know about this life. But apparently, just like he said, palm reading, we all have cadences. And we only live so many lives. We have to go back to the Supreme Being in He wants us perfect. So we're sent back here. So after so many cadences, that we're supposed to learn that. And that once we learn those cadences, we don't come back. So is it true when I get on the other side of the veil? I hope I could come to one of my family members and give them that knowledge of past lives and being perfect in the eyes of the divine. And that's a big thing with, like he said, with the hands on the lines. And the hands on the lines do change because I did palmistry. And people will say, "Oh, my lines change." No, you don't. As your life changes, your hands change. Everything changes. And it's a belief system. If you could believe, you could achieve.
Amen. Do you have any questions for Sandra? Steve, Stephanie, do you have any questions for her fears?
Oh, questions or statements?
Whatever you
Either
can
or.
give her.
Well, like I said, being the more conservative and individual, I'm not a past life person. I think you're born here and you die, and that's the end. But what I do believe is that if everything was perfect, we would never grow. And every person is given challenges. And those challenges that might rack your brain as you grow older, those are the things that you have to overcome to become better. I'll just give you a little example. I was born with no roof in my mouth. I couldn't talk. I couldn't learn to talk till I was 8 years old. I went through a lot of humiliation, a lot of mocking. I could use it as an excuse to be an introvert and not be out front, but obviously those challenges were given to me to make me better. I had an abusive father. I was beaten. Thus, I became a scoutmaster, so other kids wouldn't go through what I went through. So these things that you find as challenges or worries, or things that you reflect on. These are these things that are given to you so you can grow and become a better person. Because let's face it, we hear about these rich, spoiled rich kids. They're given everything; they don't have to work. What ultimately becomes of them? They do drugs. They're very unfulfilled. So having everything and being perfect is not the way to go. The reason why we were born the way we are is we're created by God to be imperfect, and our job is to try to improve ourselves. And in my faith, and that comes every year, you reflect about what you can do,
yes.
and to be a better person, and try to apply those principles. And it's a lifetime challenge. It's not going to end. You will always be faced with newer challenges. So the idea is to, like she said, address those challenges and face them. And there's nothing that you can't do in life. I mean, I can't be a 7-foot basketball player because I'm 5'8". But other than
Thanks for the info.
but you can try. There is nothing that you can't rise up to if you actually apply yourself. And then when you overcome that challenge, there'll be another one that you're going to cross, and you're going to apply yourself again. And that's how you grow as a human being. So, again, I'm not a past life person. I think that you were born with these worries and these issues that as you were raised. It's our job to face them, get over them, become better, and apply them and help others that also go through the same thing.
Also, you'll find that, like Terry said, and I always tell you, take a journal, get yourself a little composition book, right? Date, right, guys?
No,
Date it,
Definitely.
time, and you know what? The best time to even to do that when you're meditating. Write your thoughts down, because you know what? Somewhere in that block of fear will come out. It will go away. We all have fear, like he said. We all have fear. Everybody fears. You know, it's a human part of life. You know what I'm saying? But just know that you are in charge of your life. Okay, so take what you've heard today, and just go forth with it, sister. You're gonna be okay. Right? Learn to love yourself.
I deal with a lot of people that are ready for retirement, and when you work all your life, it's hard to retire. Since I just chose to leave everything behind, my first year was the hardest. I didn't know what direction to go in, but you find different things in your life to do. To maybe you never painted, or maybe you never did anything. You could try these things, because just like he said, we all have hidden talents that we were too busy in our lives having houses and kids and keeping up with the Joneses, that one day you're retired and you think, oh my gosh, now I have all this time to discover myself.
Yes.
And a lot of people just can't retire, and that's why a lot of people retire and die, because they sit there and they're dumbfounded. Life goes on until the day that you go. So you go into different things if you want to become spiritual. Just like Maureen said, I think there's certain people I feel that are chosen to bring in message. I try to get out of it. I didn't like it. I don't want this. It's a gift that keeps giving. I mean, I don't want this gift anymore. I don't want it. But
It's like
it's
you
there.
are chosen.
Right, and then you just have to just go with it. You just go with the flow. I believe everybody could bring in messages. I believe everybody has the ability, but it takes work. And time.
And tiredness.
And time. And there's times like, I don't want to do it, and it just pushes me. They say they can't touch you. I have that disbelief. I get that push. I say, okay, and it goes all back to believing. It's all a belief that you just, believe and you achieve. Like he said, you could do anything in your life.
Well, just picking up on what Terry said, she talked about painting. Grandma Moses didn't start painting till she was 94 years old.
Definitely.
She worked the farm. She had children. Her husband passed away. And as she would take the bus to town, from what I read, that the bus stop, it ended at an art supply store. And she would get off the bus, and every day she'd say, one day I want to learn how to paint. Well, she created, at 94, when she started painting, after an entire American genre of painting that never existed before. But just as much, she accumulated more wealth. And mind you, they were impoverished farmers. She accumulated more wealth in those days, dollars, than Oprah Winfrey has now. So this was in the last half dozen years of her life, she accomplished more than most people, hundreds of people. And all she did ultimately was give herself the license to try. And so those are your answers. Is do it. It doesn't matter. I mean, you're
Just
not. It's
do it,
not
Danny.
going
You
to
got
end in
this.
travesty. You're not going to crash and burn. If it doesn't work out, you try something else. But you'll find what makes it work. And other people have. That's what made them as great as they are. They don't have any more talent than you. They just did it.
I think that we're all still trying to find out who you are. Online, we're still learning. I'm still learning. I'm not
too,
ashamed
every
to. I'm
day.
still learning.
Find our life purpose.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
know,
then,
it-
then you'll be fulfilled. And then
I-
that'll resolve all those nagging
Right. I know-
questions you have, because it all stems down to create a spot that you never really filled. And that's what your purpose is.
We're taking calls.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we got a caller.
Hi, yes. I'd like
Hi.
to speak to Maureen.
Who is this? You're on the air. This is Josh Your Angel.
Hi, Maureen. It's Laura.
Oh my God! This is Laura is one of my clients who was a tough gal, and I think we've known each other since 2014. Correct?
About 12, 13, somewhere around there.
Wow! How is everything going?
All right. Been a rough
Thank
day.
you. I hear you. Thank you for calling in. What's your question for my guest today?
I just wanted to touch base with you. I got in about halfway through the show, and I missed out the first half. I had a little bit of a family dilemma going on myself, but I just wanted to touch base with Terry, see if she had any kind of insight on what's going on here. And I know you and I have talked many times, and you've been my angel and guided me through many things and been spot on, and I love you for that.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, I turn
And-
it over to Terry.
And what is your question? What would you like me to focus on?
You know, I have been through a lot, and Maureen can vouch for it. I lost both of my parents recently. I have a daughter that I take care of. It has a brain tumor. I've been dealing with some family issues. I just lost my mother-in-law suddenly to a massive heart attack. Just a lot of stuff going on. I just kind of hope there's a light at the tunnel here, and I don't know. Wanted to see what anybody had to say.
Well, you do have a lot of spirit around you. Your mother is there to help you. Right now, I'd say now until like February, March, there's going to be a lot of fast-moving things that are going to happen in your life for the better. A lot of calming down. It seems right now that you're under such duress and such pressure, and you just don't know what direction to go in. But your direction is narrowing to one point, and I see somebody coming in to help you unexpectedly. It's going to be unexpected help that's going to ease up your tension in your life right now. Around you, I see even. I don't know, is it your back that's bothering you? Is it up in your upper back? I see you having a lot of tension, a lot of restriction there right now.
Yeah, a little bit. I've been dealing with scoliosis all my life, so yeah,
Wow.
and I get a lot of anxiety. I mean, my age and everything. I'm trying to see if it's chalked up to the whole perimenopause thing, but I get hit with a lot of anxiety. But
I feel that, and I could feel the anxiety in your chest around your heart chakra and around your, our chakras are in the front and back, mostly in your back chakra. And, maybe through Maureen, you could learn to meditate. Maybe you could start healing yourself, send healing light to all your chakras. Open up your chakras on a daily basis, open yourself so that when you do come to with all these challenges and sorrows, that you'll be able to take it on in a better perspective right now, because losing so much loved ones at one time is a big strain on all of us.
Oh, yeah.
And you
yeah.
have to keep your strength now for your daughter to help her. Plus, you have to help yourself, be
Right.
strong.
Right.
Open up your root chakra, root yourself in the morning. And
What about the third eye, the middle eye?
the third eye right now for her, I don't know. I think her other chakras need to be open before she addresses that third
Okay.
eye.
All right.
Right now, because she does have the spirits around her. There has been a man that passed also that is very strong around you, but he passed a while back.
We know who that is.
my dad.
Yeah, and
That's my dad.
He's around
Yep.
you very, very strong. Was he a smoker? Did he smoke cigars or
He did.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
he smoked cigarettes, and he had heart disease and stuff like that.
Yeah,
he had a toe amputated and
he's
everything
very
else. And it
strong
was all,
around
a
you.
lot
He-
of what he did from smoking. Yeah, it was a lot of damage
I
from
could see
smoking.
that he was a heavy smoker. He's there right
Yes.
now around you, and he'll be there to support you. Maybe he wasn't there when he was alive, but definitely he is here now because he wants, like to relay the message. I'm sorry that I wasn't there for certain times at you. I think he turned his back when you needed him the most, but now he's there for you now. So
Yeah, no, I never felt for my dad. Me and my dad had a very tight relationship. If the relationship that I had that lacked, I guess the relationship itself that lacked was between me and my mom. I was always a daddy's girl, so me and him were always very tight.
there was one time though that I feel
I
that
guess maybe he felt that he wasn't there enough for me. Is maybe
that's
what you're
right.
saying?
Yeah,
That's right, yes.
That's right. He wasn't there enough for you because I could feel a
And
disconnect.
that was the
at
kind
one
of person
time.
he was. I mean, he went out of his way. I mean, when my mom was alive, he actually got up and got her a bottle of water, which she should have been getting up and doing for herself because the condition that she had, she would have been better off moving around more
There's
so by
also-
herself.
there's
so he broke his
also-
arm getting up to get her a bottle of water. I'm like, Dad, you got to stop doing for her. You got to do, you got to let her do for
Right.
herself. Oh, but I love her. So
There's
he always
also-
went above and beyond.
A strong B name around you.
We have
Me?
A B name. It could
B.
be a B, like a strong B name. It could be a middle name, last name, but that name, some name keeps coming in around you that has passed.
Yeah, I
But
don't
stay
know
strong.
anything
Think
with
about
B.
that. Take that with you, and thank you for letting me serve you.
Thank you
you.
so much, Laura. Love and light to you. I'll see you soon. Give
All right,
Princess a
Lori.
kiss for me. Call.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
Thank you. Next caller. Take another call in.
Yeah, here you go. And they're on.
Hi, you're on the air. Joe Shore Angel Show. Hello.
Hi, this is Sharon Priscilla Vieira,
Hi, Sharon. Who would you like to talk to today?
that lady that was just talking.
Sharon, my name is Terry Oz. Terry, you're Sharon.
Hi, Sharon. What could I do for you today?
Oh, I don't know. What can you do for me today?
Well, you have to give me a question so I could focus on it. I'm not a mind reader. Psychic I am, but not a mind reader. Yeah, I'm working on that though.
Okay,
This
beautiful.
way I
What
could
do
get
you-
the lottery numbers and pass them on.
Okay, beautiful. What do you see for me?
In perspective of love life,
Mu-
job,
Music.
music. Why are you holding back on something? You're holding back on some kind of a music thing. Maybe you don't feel that it's right timing now, but you're holding back on something.
No, you're absolutely right. I've been holding back for years on going out in the public.
Well, do it. Now's your time. This week is like a big change with this moon coming in. We talked about fears before. I don't know why it's such a fear with you. You're better than what you think you are.
Ooh, she got you.
I don't know what nationality you are, but
Twin.
I know that. Is there Irish in your background?
Yeah.
You don't play the bagpipes, do you? Did anybody around you
No.
play bagpipes?
That's you're picking
No.
up me.
No,
You're
I'm
picking up the
actually,
Jersey Irish Princess.
singing Carpenter tribute band.
Well, there's somebody that had maybe in your past, because I do hear bagpipe music coming in.
Nana.
So they're there to support you, to push you out into the public. So do it. I mean, do it like now, today. Don't stop, because once you get out there, you're going to surprise yourself. You're going to be so overwhelmed with everything that you're going to you're not going to know where to go first.
So you think the Carpenter tribute band's going to be good?
Yesterday once
Definitely. Yes, definitely. Yes, I would. Who sings around you?
Nobody in my family ever sing. I was the only one that was
Not in
left.
your family, though. Not somebody around you, a friend maybe, a singer. I could hear her singing.
Oh, my friend Walter, he's a Vietnam vet.
Okay, because I do hear him singing, and it's like torch music. You know what torch music is? Barbara Streisand type of a music, torch music. I could hear
That's
him
Mommy
singing.
Sharon.
I actually sing that.
Oh, do you? Okay. I do hear the song, so it's the torch music. So you're
Yes,
gonna
I've
have
seen decades of music.
you're going to have a lot of changes in your life coming up now, February, March,
I was just
April.
so afraid because I suffer from PTSD from being raped as a child.
Well, put that on a back burner right now. It's done. It's over. Let it go. You know, it's the past. It's not the future.
I did. I did. I've been going out for a couple of times now, and I'm like loving it because I'm giving back and getting a good response.
Your music should save you. You know
Wow.
that.
How's that, Sharon?
Thank you.
Yeah,
That sounds
music
pretty
saves
good there
us
for
all.
Commercial manager.
You know, you could listen to a sad song. You know, I'm not a country western music piece person. I'm up here listening to country music, and then I thought, oh my God, my husband always listened to that, and I hated it. But you know, we had a compromise, Frank Sinatra country. So when I get in a car, I was tortured with country. Coming up here, I'm listening to country, and I thought, oh my God, he must be with me coming up here. And I was, I was
got my
singing.
Bobby Valley bring me up with him, and he actually got me out there and to sing because I was always my ex always put me back in the back shelf.
Oh wow! Oh well, I'm telling you, go for it.
Sharon, say hello
Go
to
for
your
it.
brother. He's here in the studio. Kevin.
Oh, hi, Kevin. Hi, Randy.
Who's Randy?
She means
Oh, you mean
That
Stephen?
was the first guy.
That Randy was off the air, Sharon. He was from Pennsylvania. He was a
Hi,
caller.
hello. Good luck with your singing. You're doing a great job.
Oh, thank you.
Could you sing us a little tune?
Can you
Quick
sing a little tune?
Anything, right at the top of your head, right now. Sing.
Oh, wow. Oh, really?
No thinking. Sing.
Yep.
I can't.
Don't think. Just
don't
sing
think, don't
anything.
think,
Don't
just
think.
do
Just
it.
sing. Yeah. Just two little bars. First thing comes to your head.
Nowhere in the world could there be a voice true as you love.
Wow, you have a beautiful voice.
Sharon Carpenter.
Wow.
Wow.
Keep up the good work.
Like I said, Sharon, everything she told you, I told you, Lee. You just
Well, we
gotta.
sometimes need validation from other people because
Yep,
it's the
and she
belief
got it.
thing.
Yep.
Hey, I'm a psychic. I'll say to my friend, read for me. She'll say, go away from me.
Now, do
Get
you,
away from
do
me.
you see anybody watching over me?
Yeah, there's a female that comes in that watches over you, and there's also another female that had passed probably years ago. She stands in the back. I see her tapping her foot, so either she was tapping it to the music or tapping it out of madness. Because we both, you know, sometimes, you know, when your mother got mad, she tapped her foot repeatedly.
Oh yeah, that was my mother. Yeah.
So since there, you know, you're in a musical thing, it could be, you know, tapping the beat to the music, but I think it was like tapping it to like, oh, you know, what are you doing over there, you know? Like that mad part. But she's there for you, you know, just talk to her. Ask her.
And you see, how's my health?
You have up and down issues. Nothing to worry about, nothing detrimental. Don't focus on anything right now. Again, you know, through your angel over here, focus on all your chakras, open them up, cleanse yourself, do a morning cleanse. I'm a big thing with salt. You know, I cut my foot on glass about a month ago, big gash, went in, put salt on it, cleansed it, stitched it up myself. I think salt is the cure for everything.
Yes, it is.
That's
You
why I
lay-
live-
you
Salt,
lay-
yeah.
That's why I live by the ocean. You know, the
Sea salt.
ocean emits salt air, and that's lithium, and that's what they give to all mental patients. So, you know, if you want to be by the ocean, the lithium will help you be calm. That's why everybody gets calm by the ocean, because you get this tons of lithium coming off there that you're ingesting, and you know you're happy. But I don't see anything in general health for you right now.
Thank you.
Nothing. Nothing.
How about you? Do you see anything for Sharon?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm not a seer, like I said, but you're only emphasizing exactly what I said is you got to rise up to these challenges. You want to be a singer. Think about what's the worst that can happen. Go out, grasp your dreams, go for your dreams, and you'll succeed. Yeah, there's no reason why you
I
can't.
wish Jane could just hit my page and hit the one song.
Well, we're
Hurting
running.
each other.
We're running out of time, baby girl. But I want to thank you for calling in, Sharon.
you.
And how did that?
Yes,
thank you,
thank you.
Terry.
Thank you so much,
And
Terry.
thank you- and
guys.
thank you
And
for
guys
letting
can
me
follow
serve
me on
you.
Sharon, Priscilla Vieira.
Okay, thank you, Sharon. Okay, so that's our show. I'm the Jersey Shore Angel. I want to thank Doc G for having me. Always, you can find me here every Wednesday. Can you please tell them how to get in touch with you first?
My name is Stephen Sloan, StephanSloan. You can contact me at stephensloanmagic@gmail.com. I can do palm readings, tree readings for your party, mentalism routines, mind reading, and love to hear from you. Thank you.
Thank you for being on my show. And Terry Oz, can you tell everybody how to get a hold
I'm
of you?
on Facebook as Terry Oz, and I'm also on there as Mad Mediums and Psychics. And you could go to my page and inbox me for readings. I also do come to the homes. I'm also a Reiki master and a healer through John of God. So I could also send out healing energy, when I sit by the ocean to anyone that needs it. So if you want to contact me, just go on Facebook. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry, for being on my show, too.
Well, thank you for having
And
me.
I'm going to have these two definitely back on my show. Definitely back. I want to mention the 23rd is our next show, and that's from the Revolution Store is going to be here. Ruth Ann and her guests will be here, and we'll be talking about the pureness and the goodness of hemp. Also, Laura will be here sharing her story with her princess, the one with the brain tumor, her miraculous story. But I want to thank you all so much. Just remember what we all said, and Terry said, and Stephen said, you are all beautiful. Everybody has something that they have, a gift. We're all born with a gift. And most of all, love one another, because that's what we need in this world, more love, okay? So God bless you all. Thank you for tuning in, and may God bless America. Jersey Shore Angel out.
Very good. Thank you very much. Excellent.